Today's headline is Diary of a Traveling Preacher. This article originally came from the Only Republican. It says, Mr. Editor, the following diary written in pencil was handed to me to transcribe, and finding it interesting, send you a copy, which if you think best you may publish. It says, entered the cars in the morning at Olney for St. Louis. Was never in a car before. Man came round staggering, thought he was tight, looked at me, said ticket. I said have none. Money, said he. $4.50. Do you charge preachers, said I. Everybody, said he. You may go to heaven as a deadbeat, but not on this train. Come, sir, said the man. I got up to get satchel, and fell about worse than mad. Hurt head on seat, blood came out nose. Paid fare. Man put pasteboard in hat. Every time stepped would come and look at me. Asked if he had religion, said yes, enough to collect fare. Said his name was Miles. Noticed he took care the ladies and children had comfortable seats. Began to like him. Think he is a gentleman. Wished he belonged to our church. Came to St. Louis. Great sight. Such steeples and boats and houses and rattling and cursing. Got into a thing they called bus. Driver asked me where I would go. Told him to some preachers. Said he didn't know any and couldn't hunt 'em. Left me in the street. I inquired for preachers or brothers. Couldn't find any. Went into a large beer saloon, asked for a lodging, gave me a bed on the floor with fleas, mosquitoes, and rats. Went to a hotel next morning, found a preacher, would like to preach, and said he would call for me next day. Gave me money to pay the bill. Brother called, noticed my thick shoes, bark jeans pants, and straw hat. Told me the customs were different in St. Louis from Big Muddy. That more attention was paid to dress, and if I had no change would loan me a suit. I'm slim, brother is fat from St. Louis fair. The pants were too big round, and came down only halfways from the knees to the ankles. Coat wrapped around me like a blanket. Shirt had to be wrapped over, and nothing fitted. Brother smiled when I was dressed, and said he would invite me home if he was not full. Said probably my mode of preaching would not suit St. Louis people, but might make prayer. I went in, people gazed at me. Brother requested short prayer. I commenced in my own way, and when I came to brands from the burning, scales to fall from their eyes, and on the Spirit to come right down in our midst, there was a rustling among the silks and satins, and brother pinched me to stop. I said amen, in the middle. Brother looked black in the face, and read hymns, singing middling. Brother preached. At close, I struck up the song, shout, shout, we're gaining ground, etc. But no one joined me. Brother gave me such a look that gave me to understand that the worship of God was different in St. Louis from Suckerdom. Told brother he might take his clothes and I would go home, that there was more pride than religion, and that worship in St. Louis was too dry for me. Told him that sis grown easy on the west waters of Big Muddy could bring the tears and shouts and groans in the most agonizing manner, and at the mourner's bench could be all St. Louis. That saving souls by the St. Louis fashion was like raising crops without manuring the ground, a waste of labor without yield. Brother said that different people required different customs, that custom and religion, to be adapted to the habit of the people, was as essential to success as dress, rules of politeness, or anything else that held society together. I told brother God never changed, neither would I if the flesh was weak. So Duff's borrowed suit and donned my own. Walked into the street, met old friend who said I looked bad, said change of water was bad for me, would take me to preventative. Went with him to Byron's. Man put in mint, ice, sugar, and something else, and whacked it about from one glass to another. Stuck in a straw, and slung it out 6 foot to me. Friend said suck that straw. It looked cool, and I did so. Felt fine. Told friend my opinion of St. Louis folks, and wished to sing. Friend said no, let's go to the theater. I said talk. Went half square. Told friend would go back and suck that straw. Both did so. Felt glorious. Told friend I could out-sing, out-shout, out-exhort all the blasted city. Friend said don't talk so loud, the police will be after you. Told him I didn't fear his police. Man said stop that noise. I knocked him down with my testament, and friend and I ran. Come to theater. Fat man named Chesley sold tickets. Offered broken bill. He looked pleasant, said bad. Friend said I was a preacher, should go in free. Chesley said glad good man, but like Don Quixote, should have clean linen and money when travel. Religion poor currency in city. 50 cents buy more than bushel of sermons. Friend took 2 pit tickets, went in. Oh, how fine. They blew great horns, but didn't play any tune. Rolled up a painted sheet, and my stars, there was all outdoors by daylight. A man called Hastings and another called Gloucester abused a poor repentant sinner, Jane Shore. until I got up and threatened to whip them both until their own mothers wouldn't know them. The people screamed, "Turn them out." A man came to me and said, "Sit down and keep quiet or leave the theater instantly." I told him if they kept on abusing that woman, I would show them that I could fight any man as well as the devil, and gave a big muddy yell. Whereupon all the crowd, about 400, landed me into the street, but I got my thumb into one scamp's eye and took it out with me. In the street was lost, and hollered for Brother Smith. Man collared me and said I must go to Calaboose. Pummeled into mincemeat. Smith came, went up to 4th Street, was mad, not allowed to protect sweet woman. Away from home 2 weeks makes woman look lovely. I met sweet girl, and said she was lost and afraid. Told her I would stay by her. We traveled on, found her home. Her aunt was kind, asked me to stay till morning. 6 or 7 sisters came and kissed me. St. Louis manners different from Muddy. Preacher told me, found it so. Asked me what I would drink. Told her it came with straw. Asked if they had any religion. Said no, something else. They asked me if I had any money. Said only $50 of Brother Smith's. They brought round the straw again. Oh, they were angels. Found myself in the street next morning. Met Smith. Asked for his money. Told him it was lost. Couldn't find house where I stayed. Was carried off by gollips and sweet ladies. Was sorry. Would take up contributions when I got home. Would deliver Maine law and moral reform lectures. Could soon make it up. Smith hung head. Said nothing. St. Louis, very wicked place. This story came from the great state of Wisconsin, being reported in the Sheboygan Lake Journal of November 2nd, 1855. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to continue to uncover all of America's lost and forgotten history, then remember before you leave to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and remember to like and comment below. And we will see you next time on Americana Archives.